Okay. Good evening and thank you for joining. I'm super excited to have you right here on my channel and whatever location you are joining from. Thank you for connecting. And this is just one of my series that are trying to put light and also educate my audience, my little community, my prospects, my existing clients, my new coming clients on the things they have to look out to, on the angles and area they have to pay a great attention to. This involved doing the right thing and doing it at the right time. Just because of recent demolition in Lekki Aja axis, there are lots of questions, there are lots of calls that I've received. Please, I hope my property, I hope my land is safe, I hope my building is safe. That's regarding most of my prospects and most of my clients that are in diaspora. I basically explained to them that all their property are safe because all these basic steps was duly considered, was duly looked into before keying to the investment. So, as the title tagged, 5 types of land to avoid in Nigeria. There are basically more than 5, but I'm just trying to narrow it to 5 because at this moment there are several factors that are behind. The one the government demolished just of recent is just because of it's not in line with them. It's just affecting drainage channels. That's why they just want to demolish those houses. That are just 0.00 reasons why government can demolish any type of property if it's not in line with the government or the building authorities. So it just happened in Lagos. It might happen in any state. Depends on the government on the day. Depends on the interest of how the government have for environmental development, environmental management, and the rest. There are some people that might be building inside that was set aside for waste management, and this is one of the least concerned areas. Who knows who might be the next victim? So there are lots of factors that need to put into consideration. Lots of factors that need to outline and check before before moving to any building project. Basically, I will start with 5 areas that they need to consider most. Yeah, I'm looking at the 5 areas that you should always consider before going to investments. There are several, but there are these few that is very, very, very important to look into. It's very, very important that you must try and consider those areas because of a prime purpose towards investment. So, first and foremost, the area we are trying to look into, let me check. People just comment that my live on Facebook is not connecting. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to okay. So regarding what I've just mentioned here, the first and foremost, what we have to look into very, 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 very important. I just have 5 to list. I have another section that I want to do. Those ones are actually private, but I just want to go a little bit public before going to the private section. And because for the sake of people that ask me to, major of my audience ask me to record it, so this content is recorded, so I will likely share with them on their mail and drop it to them as well, or different channels they want me to share with them. The first and foremost on the 5 types of land to avoid in Nigeria as of 2023. There are several, but I'm just going to list out 5 now. The first that I want to list out include committed land. Let me start with what we are very, very familiar with. 90% are familiar with land that are committed. That's government land, land that government are having serious interest. Government have established their purpose. When a land is committed, government has clearly established their purpose for what it will be used for. So those are the area. These are the committed land. They said it used to be for hospital. It be used for schools. Might be used for any commercial activity, residential activity for the benefit of the citizen. Please, this type of land is not advisable. I don't advise anybody to go into it. It might take 10 years, it might take 5 years, but at the time which the main problem starts is when trying to perfect title perfection or now have a dispute case. That way now get to see the blueprint. I'm referring to the base map they used to plan the state or the local government or the area. We get to see the system map. We have to now discover that where you bought from or where you are keen to where they will invest in is currently a government land. At that point, that's when the case closed at court. You might have some people who have maybe long legs to connect to make the document come out from the ministry, but when the time comes, they want to take it the land, definitely they'll take it without compensation. So always avoid any land doing due diligence or while doing your investigation that involved committed land. When you hear it's government committed land, it's government acquired and they are committed lands. You see, when once your who is doing your due diligence kind of investigation give a report that is a committed land, no matter how affordable, how nice, how suited the land is for your purpose, please kindly avoid such land. The ending is not always very, very sweet or is not always very nice. Another one that I want to point out include water channels. This water channel is a common one that you are very, very familiar with nowadays because of the action the Lagos State government have took in demolishing most of the houses, shanties that was built along the drainage axis in Etiosa. That's just the basic what we are fully aware of. As I said earlier on, that is just the most smallest part of reason why government should demolish houses. Don't build on drainages, don't build on drainage channels is not encouraging. That is not encouraging. Another area types of land, when I say don't build on, it's not that it might all those land have setback. Don't always double check. On my next video, I've done a video that give a comprehensive setback of all this area. And now I need to mention is right of way. Right of way, the same thing as drainage channels. Right of way is like, okay, from the main road, this will be 25 meters setback from the center of the road. So all those setbacks should be observed. There's a place that I need to government set aside. They might have to do power line to pass through. That might want to do several decorative for the state. All those area for right of way is area they have to avoid. When you go on a search or verification during due diligence process and you discover that your part of your land is falling on right of way, please know that when the time comes for any government to use or take action, all the part that was encroached or include on the right of way, whatever is putting on this, the base building will be demolished without compensation. That's second. The third one I want to mention here include the third one I want to mention here include oh my goodness, yeah, the third one include coastal land. This one is not yet, the effect of investing in coastal land have not been common yet. I'm not seeing the actions government take action on the coastal land, but these are the land people have to be very, very careful before investing in, because the coastal land, all those land by the ocean, by the lagoon, these are lands that need a very diligent and careful decision before building by those land, because the terms of the increase in water volume and water always find way to maneuver. So if it's happen for government to do coastal protection for those areas or to protect the city against flood or water taking over the city, those property by those areas would likely be involved. So there's how your love for your business, your investment already tied to that specific location, and government have woken up, have said, oh, this location, they want it down for the sake of protecting the citizen from flood. Those areas are always very, very, very delicate areas. So when you are investing in waterfront property or coastal land, always do a due diligence and double check if the location given to you is off the setback area or is not. If it's not, please always try to avoid it, because at the long run the implication is not always very, very funny. That's number 3. Number 4 I need to mention is land along the major express. I just mentioned the major express is very, very, very important. You might see the road today being maybe just a single lane road or a 2-lane road, not knowing that the main future for that road, it should be 4-lane, 4 on this axis, 4 on this axis, and you already go and like acquire just the land. I've experienced most of the land by my client that when they invest in it, after double checking, I discover those lines are falling on the express. I have to advise them this land is actually falling on the express, or what is off the express is like 10% of the land, so it is not advisable to invest here. Can you leave it for car park purposes? Don't put a permanent structure. If you put a permanent structure, you might regret after some time when government want to take actions or want to make use of their land, because land use act 1978 are vested right already on government. So that's another aspect. The number 5 on the type of land to avoid is land that has community issues, land that have title issues, because the location is nice and maybe you have the connect to the chief, the kings, the baale, whoever is the custodian of the land at that very moment. Please and please don't key into those land that are under dispute. Allow they settle the dispute and make sure it's actually settled well, and is have a Supreme Court judgment. Even if not, after investing in it, another case will come up again, and when the case arises, to be court injunction that no work can be done on that very site. So it's always very, very advisable to look deep before going to land that see under community or title dispute or issues. That's just 5 on the types of land to avoid: committed land, water channels, coastal land, land by the major express, and also land under having community dispute or title issues. That's just that on that. The other part I want to touch quickly is 5 key parts to protect your property from being demolished. Yes, 5 steps to take to avoid property being demolished. There are lots of factors behind here. I have more than 20 on my list, but I'm just going to share 5 now because of time. And on my subsequent series, I will likely go to give it 5, 5, 5. Then later I'll do it. Just take a day to do it, all the 20s. And if I have more research and discover more, I still have to add to it. First on my list is just what we might be knowing as illegal structures. Illegal structures here involve structure that doesn't have building approval. They're just building it. They're not paying attention to what's supposed to be built and not to be built in that area. So those properties is subject to demolition at any given time with prime notice by government. So all these property have to be duly looked into before erecting your building. Always consider that you have followed due process. Another one is soil test. Yes, another factor that might lead to building demolition, not government demolition. Soil can also demolish your building. If you are not, there are some people that want to have high rise on the wrong soil. If you try such on the wrong soil, it will stand only for a short period of time. After 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, we want subsidence occurs. That's the underground movement of the soil. When those subsidence occurs and the house lose balance through soil, to be honest, that building is going down. That is self-demolition. You are the one who demolished that because you failed to pay attention to what you're supposed to have paid attention to. Another number 3 and the thing I want to engage is proper foundation. Yes, all things might be working together with proper foundation, but this will happen to a building. Might just be I'm building a story building. Please, 1 second. Okay, this might just happen to that I'm building just a story building. I'm building a bungalow, so don't need to do big foundation. This is how we do it in the east. This is how I do it in the north. This is how we do it in the west. Please do try and have a proper foundation that will carry your building, because if you don't have a good foundation, the house will not stand well. I'm not mentioning areas that involve government demolition now. I'm mentioning areas that involve human or personal mistakes that lead to demolition. The building can be demolished. You demolish your own yourself. The demolition can be either government or the basser helping you to bring down your building. You started seeing cracks before you know now. At the end in demolishing the building, It's either patching, at the end of the day, it will still fall. So these are the areas you also have to consider. Number 4 on the list is complying with building codes. Lots of people don't really comply in building code. There are some areas that you can, the approved building code might be not more than 2 floors, only terraces, only bungalows. So you get to go and build because I've seen vacant space. Those buildings for flat, offices, hotel or club. It started adding to another 2 stories from the design. Honestly speaking, when once they discover this is not what it's supposed to be, although the Nigerian system is good, is who knows who, sorry to use that language, but at the same time there might be a change in government, change in system, that who knows who might not favor or works very well at that moment. At this point, you might decide to be the victim, in which social media will taking caution with, be sharing around. Please always try to avoid these basic mistakes. I've just listed 5 key factors that might lead to building demolition or having building cracks or having defection and the rest. The 5 I just mentioned: illegal structure, soil test, proper foundation, compliance with building codes, and overloading of the building. This is basically just 5 key areas. On my next series, I will share the other 15, and after my research I will see add more to the 15. Thank you for staying tuned. I just have to do a quick one because I have another section to quickly pin. Just wanted to run through before going for my private section, please. And if you really want to join my private section, I'll drop a link to join. And if my time is not comfortable with you, there's always room for adjustment to fit your time. If you want me to train your staff and the rest, there are some other things I'm likely going to engage. Thank you so much, and thank you for staying tuned. If you have any question, kindly drop it. I'll kindly respond to it. Thank you. Live on Facebook now. If you have a question, please kindly drop it down, please. Have a question, drop it, please. If you have any question, kindly drop it, please. Okay, thank you. I have to go on my other media right now. Thank you. I'll be right back in 1 second. Let me just get my media set. Okay, thank you.